So to make this a bit more interesting, what we're going to do is kind of add some kind of subtle noise to this that kind of moves along the surface. So in order to do that, the first thing we're going to want to do is add a texture sample in. You probably just hit T in fairness, yeah, you can just add one in. And what I'm going to do is I should have some kind of standard noise stuff going on here, so I'm just going to add that into the scene, into the texture sample slot. Then what I'm going to do is add alert, and I'm going to drop that into the alpha here, and this into B here. Now what I want to do here is then add a multiply, and I'm going to drop that into there, and I'm going to drop a constant into there, and I should convert that to a scalar, to a parameter. And I'm going to call this noise mix, like so. So basically all this is doing is taking this original opacity set and it's multiplying it by a value. So if we just put 0 in there, it's going to multiply it by black and make that completely black. And then we're going to drop that into there. So if I then drag that into opacity, okay, so it's asking for that. Now the reason it's asking for that is because it doesn't like the fact that that's RGB and then going into constant, so we should be able to just do that. So just using the R channel means it's not using RGB. See, that's just one channel, and it's saying, hang on a minute, you're trying to take 3 channels and mix it into something that's only 1 channel. So if we just take 1 channel, then we can mix those in together. So with our noise mix here, the reason why this is looking so crazy is because we have 0 in there. So essentially that's black. It's taking this opacity and making it completely black, and this is the standard opacity. If I set this default value to 1, you should see it go completely back to how it was before. So in order to make that noise actually do something, we just need to lower this value down. So let's put it down even lower just so you can actually see it start to have an impact. Yeah, so now you can see it starting to actually do something. So we just hit save. We'll see if that's actually noticeable on models in the scene. So yeah, we're starting to see that now. Now what I really want this to do is actually move as well though. So what we're going to do is add a panner into the scene. And then we'll add just the chords. Like so, we'll drop that into coordinates. Now the default value, we probably need to up the tiling a little bit. So let's maybe put that on to 3 and 3. So that means this image is going to tile 3 times, basically. I'm just going to drop that into UVs, and then we need to add a time node. Can slot into there. And then we need to add a speed as well. So let's use a scalar for that. So hold down S and click, and we'll call this noise speed. And we'll drop that into there. We'll put the default value up to say 2. Let's hit save. And now we can see that is moving along there. Unfortunately, it's only kind of moving at a constant thing, kind of constant one direction, though. It doesn't really look like noise properly yet. So we could obviously increase the speed of that, and you can control speed X and Y kind of independently here too. But what we're going to do is just add a rotator to this as well, and that should just give us some that more kind of variation that we need. I think we should be able to just do that. Let's see if it works. Yeah, so now we're starting to get that more variation. If we wanted to, we could up the tiling as well. Like so. You can see now we're getting that on there. And obviously another thing we can do is just try out kind of different images. So I've got a few random noises I output from Substance Designer here. And of course you can also mess around with your value here. If you want to reduce it even more, you can just increase that value, and that will bring that opacity level even closer together. So it's just like a subtle kind of noise like that. Okay, so that's adding that subtle noise to the scene. The next thing I want to do is have a line that moves across the shape, kind of implying that the hologram kind of has is kind of reloaded, I guess, almost. So I did actually bring a texture in for this. And there it is. So all this texture is, I'll just double click it. It is literally just a whole selection of white and then a tiny black bar at the bottom of that. And all that's going to do is where it's black, the opacity is going to, just move up or move around the shape, just to show that the hologram is kind of cutting out on that point. So again, all we'll need to use for that is a panner again. So we'll add another panner to our model here. Another texture chords. Now we can't use the same texture chords purely because we don't want the tiling to kind of be so high. You could probably use the same time. We do want to add a scaler though, because this will be, I don't know, maybe I'll call it opacity cut speed or something, and we'll drop that into there. I'll just set the default to be 2 maybe. And we'll drop that into UVs. So what we need to do again, at the moment we have our kind of lerp going into here. So what we want to do is add yet another lerp. Have that one, say, going into B. That goes into our alpha. And then we'll need to add another scalar. In fact, we'll probably get away with it without a scalar, but I'll just leave it as called parameter for now, and we'll just drop that into A. So basically what this is saying is, where this is white, show through our normal opacity, and where it's black on that thin strip, basically have no opacity at all. So we'll just drop that into there. It's not like in the fact that it's not a that it's using RGB, so we'll just use A. There we go, we can see that's kind of working. Obviously what we can do is set a default value to 0.1 if you just wanted to have like a little bit of opacity. So save. That's kind of working. I think, yeah, we do have. So, yeah, I might have put them the wrong way around. Let's just try flipping that. Though it does look right there, though, so I don't think it will be that. But I will try it anyway. Yeah, it's looking a bit better. What I might do is swap these around, and I think it might be because I have that set to 0.1, so instead of to 0. Hit save. Okay, there we go, that's working now. So obviously you can see it works fine on the sphere, but on this shape here, it's kind of all over the place. Now the reason is, it's because this is just moving from down straight to up. And it's using our UVs. Now obviously the UV of our shape is going to be all over the place because we're going to unwrap this in Painter. So let's just have a look at our UVs. So you can see here, everything's kind of laid out in its standard format. So what I've done is I made another UV set, and to do that I've just gone create empty UV set. And then all I've done is select the model and just cylindrically unwrap it. Because the reason I've done that is because now the bottom of the model will be, as you can see, so its face is there, and the top of the model will be up here. And that means when our texture moves there, it'll correctly move along that shape. So all I need to do is go to my texture chords, and instead of using our first UV set, we'll use our second UV set. And if we just hit save, and while it's going to look funny on that shape there, on this one, it does what we want it to do. And obviously that's just an example kind of asset anyway. Oops. Okay, so if we just shut that down, go to our hologram here, we'll see we've got our instance here, and we can just control this and kind of do what we want with this now. So we have kind of noise mix, noise speed, opacity speed. No, that's our opacity parameter as well. One thing I didn't do was convert our textures to a parameter. So we'll just call this texture noise. We probably don't really need this one as a parameter anyway. Texture. Let's call it texture edge. And now, of course, we have a bit more control over this in that we can control kind of which noise we use. We control that too. We can have more kind of noise on it and that kind of thing. But let's also make sure I bring this over here. Like so. Maybe I'll take the actual speed of that. Put that right down to 1. Like that. Okay, so you've now got plenty of control over that. So the next thing we want to do then is the materials for these. So what we'll do is we'll create another material instance from that, and I will drag that just onto those. Now, one thing here, if we just load up that material instance, obviously we're getting that texture edge and it looks doesn't look great. So what I tend to do is always have just a couple of really small textures that are just pure white or pure black. And that way I can just drop the white straight into that slot and I get rid of that kind of bar effect that I had there. Obviously I can also control this too. And I'm going to put my base color up there, and also could just control the exponent here like that, just to get that kind of nice edge on those. Whoa. Okay, so there's not too much left to do now. We just need to create kind of these effects coming off the side here.